Hi class, my name is Madison Partain and this is my Hot Buttons behavior plan for lesson 7. So to start, I'm going to go over my code of ethics that I created for my classroom. So number 1, every child has the right to education no matter their race, religion, socioeconomic status, culture, abilities, or other determining factors. Number 2, everyone will be treated with respect and dignity. Teachers, parents, students, etc. That also includes other faculty and other things like that. And the next 2 I got straight from values and ethical standards. Maintain a high level of professional competence and work to continuously acquire new knowledge and skills. Conduct ourselves with a high level of integrity and in ways that are ethical, honest, trustworthy, lawful, and responsible. Number 5, the classroom will be age appropriate, safe, nurturing, and resourceful. Number 6, maintain professional relationships with students, parents, caregivers, faculty, and the community. And lastly, I think is very important, the children have the right to express themselves the best they know how without fear of judgment or punishment. So next we'll get into my hot buttons. I couldn't get the document to work for me, so everything's written out separately. So 3 behaviors that push my buttons are being ignored, being talked over, and whining or tattletelling. The emotions that I would use to describe how these behaviors make me feel are frustrated, irrelevant, and annoyed. What is the impact of your feelings? How do you respond to each of these behaviors? When I get frustrated, I tend to have a more aggressive or strict tone when I'm talking. When I'm being ignored, I usually talk louder and more firmly to get the child's full attention. I used to get frustrated when I was being talked over, but the more it happened, the more you feel as if you're wasting your time. Now when I'm being talked over, I just get quiet and let the other person talk. Whether it's a child or adult, they usually notice me being quiet since I'm a very vocal person and realize they are talking over me and being rude. When I get annoyed, especially from tattletelling and whining, my voice also gets more firm and strict because I don't want to hear whining and complaining. I try to keep calm and address their behavior, but that doesn't always happen as planned. How do these behaviors and your response impact the relationships you have with the child? My reaction to being ignored tends to gain a mutual understanding that no one likes to be ignored and that if I take the time to listen and acknowledge the other person, then they should do the same for me. I've had these conversations with multiple children, and once I put it into these words, they understand my actions. My response to feeling irrelevant by being talked over does not always positively impact the child. Sometimes they feel as if they should get to talk and I should have to only listen, but it works both ways, as stated before. Whining and tattletelling really annoys me, and if it gets under my skin, so I try to handle it the best I can, because if not, I'm likely to get snappy even when I don't mean to. I make a clear rule with the children that tattletelling and whining is not allowed in the classroom. How do these behaviors and your responses impact the relationship you have with the family? I'm going to kind of summarize all 3 in just one answer. I think the family will appreciate me not yelling at the students, but instead giving them a chance to understand why I'm frustrated or annoyed. I don't think yelling is ever the answer with kids. We need to treat them with the same respect we treat adults with, and I think that's why families will respect me as an educator and help create strong relationships with the families. And now onto my hot buttons behavior plan. So before the hot buttons behavior, it is important to develop nurturing relationships. So we want to build positive, trusting relationships with the children, families, and other colleagues, and also have a positive, supportive interaction with each child every day. This is important to make the child feel welcome and feel safe. Pre-correction prevention strategy. Teach the expectations and make it known what is expected of them. This is likely to reduce the chance of these hot button behaviors. And sticking to a constant daily schedule. So kids do best with a routine. If the routine is going to be changed or interrupted, it is very important that we let them know before the change so they have a chance to get comfortable with it. All right, so during this behavior, it is important to stay calm. We want to take a deep, slow breath and take a step back, but do not step away. We also want to reframe the behavior. So what is the child trying to tell me through this behavior? It is also important that we stay positive throughout the whole thing in the interaction with the child. After the behavior, talk with the child about why they had challenging behaviors and talk through better ways to express their feelings and emotions. Reflect on how you handled the situation and what you did a good job at, and what needs to be fixed for the next time this happens. Reach out to a colleague to talk through the behavior with. It's also important to care for yourself. Drink some water and take a break, or just take a moment to yourself. This quote I took from one of our presentations in, I believe it was module 2, and I felt it was really important. If a child doesn't know how to read, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to swim, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to multiply, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to drive, we teach. If a child doesn't know how to behave, we teach, punish. Why can't we finish the last sentence as automatically as we do the others? As teachers, I think it's important that we don't focus on punishment, that we need to be teaching how to deal with, for children, how to deal with their emotions, how to deal with their feelings, because if we don't teach them at a young age, it's going to just spiral out of control the older they get, because they were never taught how to correctly process these feelings and emotions. So for my reflection on the scheduling, consistent scheduling each day, pictures, examples, along with the time, as well as a balanced schedule. Classroom environment, it's important to have an open layout with age-appropriate furniture to promote safe but challenging environments, multiple different stations for different learning centers, and prevention strategies are always important to know. Behavior-specific praise, pre-correction, active supervision, zoning, and planning transitions. My second reflection, part 2. This course has taught me so much and reinforced ideas I already had. Creating positive relationships with children, families, and colleagues creates a positive environment, but also trusting relationships so students feel safe and comfortable in their classroom and with their teachers. Children's challenging behaviors are not usually caused by the child wanting to act out. They're trying to express their feelings and emotions and don't know how else to do it. Having a common understanding with parents or caregivers on where challenging behavior stems from and how to best handle challenging behavior will reduce the amount of challenging behavior from the children, but also we have to understand that some behaviors are age appropriate, and these are learning moments for these children. And on my last slide is my reference. Thank you guys so much, and we made it.